Hi athletes, and welcome to your Kansas City Corporate Challenge Team Duathlon Athlete Briefing. So first and foremost, before we get started with all of this information, just wanted to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors, PNC especially. Thank you guys for making this possible. Thank you athletes for coming out and joining us for this race. And thank you volunteers. Huge shout out to you. We would not be able to do this without you. So athletes, please make sure that you thank all of the volunteers throughout the event, at every other event as you're out there. Without them, none of this would be possible. So to kick this off, we're going to kind of go through everything that you should know regarding the race, starting with packet pickup all the way down to the very end of the race. So race packet, you have to pick up your race packet at one of the two packet pickup options. There are only those two options. We will not allow you to pick up on race morning. So packet pickup options consist of Wednesday night at the track meet in the check-in area behind the East Grandstands from 4:30 to 8 p.m. or Thursday at our Mill Creek Activity Center office. That address can be found inside of the rules page for this event from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Again, those are your only two options. Someone has to come pick up the team's packet and give us the names of the folks that are going to be running for your team. So inside of your race packet, you're going to find your bibs, your safety pins, helmet stickers, bike stickers. Please make sure that you affix them correctly. So helmet sticker is going to go on the front of the helmet. Bike sticker is going to go on the seat post of your bike, either underneath your seat or across the bar that runs between your seat and your handlebars. And then the bib has got to be front and center. We have to be able to see that. So on the front of your shorts, the front of your shirt, not on the back, on the front, please. Both runners have to wear a bib. Your cyclist is going to wear your helmet sticker and your bike tag. So one person on race morning will pick up your timing chip from the information tent at the northwest corner of the transition area, which will be in the marina parking lot near the KCCC check-in flag. So make sure that one person from your team comes to pick that chip up. So race morning, a couple brief notes for you. Give yourself plenty of time. It's always great to arrive early. Do not arrive late. That's going to set your morning off in a bad way. So make sure and give yourself plenty of time. Don't forget your race identification. You came to packet pickup, you picked these things up, make sure that you bring them with you on race morning. So your bibs, your stickers, all of that stuff. Double check your bag for everything that you're gonna need. If you wear cycle shoes, bring your cycle shoes, bring your air pump, bring whatever else you're gonna need to run your race successfully. It's a long way back to your car. So even if you just forget it in your car, 3/4 of a mile is a very long way, especially when it's uphill. If you ran the half marathon at Shawnee Mission Park, you know that it's uphill. So as we go through race morning, parking, our gates are going to open at 5:30 on race morning. You're going to enter the park from Renner Road. 7710 Renner Road is the address that you're going to come through. That's the theater and the park entrance. There will be no other entrances into the park that will be open. Google Maps might show that they are open. They will not be open. We close the park fully for this event so that you are safe as you're out there. So the only accessible point for you will be 7710 Renner Road at the theater and the park entrance. All athletes, spectators, volunteers will park at the theater and the park entrance. Like I said, it's about 3/4 of a mile to get down to the transition area. So if you are the cyclist, ride your bike down. If you're a runner, you want to run down, great. You can also take the bus. There'll be two buses running. They will run from 5:30 until about 6:45 a.m. and then they'll start back up once the last cyclist has exited the course. So your transition area is where you're going to leave all your stuff. You've never done this before. So it's going to close at 6:45 a.m. We'll open it at approximately 8:45 a.m. That number could change depending on weather, depending on our last cyclist exiting the course early. But essentially, we're going to keep that closed until the last cyclist is off the course so that we can make sure that they're not dealing with traffic crossing the road and any dangerous things out there. So as you come into transition area through your mount dismount line, there'll be a body marking area. We'll have volunteers stationed there. Every athlete needs to get body marked on race morning. Body marking will go on your arms. So if I'm competing on a team and I'm team 411, I'm going to get 411 on both my arms, and then I'm going to have my team division on the back of my leg. It would be helpful if you knew your division. If you don't, we'll have sheets there for our volunteers to use. But if you know it, let them know. So it's going to be, I think, A through H. So if I'm in division A, I'm going to have an A on the back of my leg. That way I know who I'm chasing or who's chasing me. So athletes are the only ones allowed inside the transition area. So if you brought your family, your friends, your kids, your coordinator with you, they are not allowed inside the transition area. And we do this for the safety of the athletes, the safety of all your gear. Some of you own very expensive bikes, and we want to make sure that you are the one that takes those home with you. Bike racks are going to be assigned by your bib number. So again, if I'm team 411, I'm going to look for the rack that has 411 on it. We'll have signs on the side of the bike rack that state this, and you'll also have stickers on the bike rack that say where to put your bike. 6 bikes assigned per rack. This is a little bit more room than perhaps what you're used to at other races. So please be courteous with your space. Don't spread out. This is not, you know, your home living room where you can put everything wherever you want. You're going to have about 1 foot, 1.5 feet wide of space underneath that bike rack. So keep everything together. That way everyone has enough space. Cyclists, when you are mounting your bike, you are not allowed to ride your bike anywhere inside the transition area. So you need to wait until you get past the bike mount flags to get on your bike. When you're coming back into the transition area, please get off of your bike before the dismount flags. Again, on your bike, you have to have your helmet on. Anytime you are on that bike, your helmet must be on your head and clipped. This is a no-go for us. If we catch you on your bike without your helmet on, you're immediately disqualified, and that's just not you being disqualified, that's your entire team. Again, this is for the safety of everyone out there, including yourself. So the race is actually going to start on the road, the main park road near the crosswalk. There'll be some green start flags stationed there. You're going to line up based on your 5K running pace time. So we'll have volunteers out there holding these signs. Make sure that you're lining up according to that pace. So this will be the first runner that is lining up on the road, and we will be facing toward the dam, which will be toward the west on that road. The team box is going to be located on the southwest side of the transition area. This is the place where you're going to exchange that timing chip. So you have your first runner, goes out on their run first, comes back, gives the timing chip to the cyclist inside of that team box. The cyclist then takes the chip, goes to get their bike, puts their helmet on, gets on their bike, walks or runs to the mount line, hops on it, goes and rides your 3 laps around the park, comes back, dismounts, puts their bike away, and then goes to the transition or the team box inside the transition area and gives the chip to the second runner. So no bikes inside of that team box. Make sure that everybody knows that. You do not have to hang out inside that team box and wait for your cyclist or your first runner to come back. You can meander around. That's totally fine. Just make sure it's up to you to know when they are coming back so that you can find them and you can get that chip from them. Chips cannot be exchanged anywhere else except in the transition area except for inside that team box. Like I said, no bikes inside that team box. Athletes are not allowed to remove their bikes from the transition area before we have officially opened this. So we're saying 8:45 a.m. is the approximate open time. If you are unable to stay until that time, this race is not for you. So this is a hard and fast rule for us. If you try to take your bike out before this time, your team's going to get disqualified. So make sure that you know that. We perhaps might be able to open it earlier if we have a great morning, everything runs smoothly, which hopefully it does. All cyclists are off the course by 8 a.m. Great, we can open it early. But I'm saying 8:45 as a caution for that. Bike Stop will be joining us for this race. They'll be located near transition, so they'll be out there for any minor repairs. You drop a chain, you need some oil on your chain, you need your tire aired up and you forgot to bring your air pump. They can help you out with those things. They cannot help you out with my chain is completely rusted out and I need a new one. That's up to you. So check your bike today and make sure it's ready to go for the race. If it's not, find somebody to fix it for you prior to the race. So race start, we kind of already talked about this a little bit, but all of the first run athletes are going to meet on the main park road near the green start flags. The start line, actually, so your time will not start until you cross that start line. So you're going to line up based on your 5K pace time. And then you'll cross that timing mat. That's when your time will actually start. The start line will close 10 minutes after the beginning of the race. So back to the arrive early, be prepared for the race. If you arrive late and oh my gosh, I have to get there, it's 7:09, you better cross that start line no later than 7:10 or you're out. And that's not just you, that's your entire team. So be considerate of your teammates when you're arriving on race day. So start line will close at 7:10. Anyone trying to start after this time will not be allowed to do so. We talked a little bit about the transition area already, but let's talk a little bit about the actual transition. So run will start on the main park road at the green flags. If you haven't gotten that point at this point, go back and rewatch and make sure that you know green start flags are where you're going to go. So first run, we'll run counterclockwise. and they will re-enter a transition through the run exit flags. They will come up to the team box where your cyclist should be waiting to collect the timing chip from you. Cyclists will then go get their bike, their helmet, all of their gear, and go out through the bike mount flags, which will be green flags on the east side of the transition area. At the bike mount line is where you may mount your bike. There is absolutely no riding in transition. We're doing 3 laps on the bike course. It is up to you to count all of your laps while you're out there. If you do the wrong number of laps, what happens? You get disqualified. So make sure that you count your 3 laps while you are out there. If you're counting distance, it's roughly 13.5 miles. Again, there's no riding in the transition area, so mount at the mount line, dismount at the dismount line. When you come back in off of your bike, you're going to go through the red flags, go down to the team box, and pass off your timing chip. Your second runner will exit through the run exit flags and head west out of transition and stay inside the coned run lane on the main park road, heading west. Aid stations out on the course. There's going to be 2 aid stations located on the run course, and there's no aid stations located on the bike course. So cyclists, before you head out, make sure and fill your water bottle. Take a water bottle with you. Just make sure that you have some type of hydration with you. And then all of our aid stations out on that run course are going to have water and either Powerade or Gatorade. So please make sure that you take advantage of all of those options out there. It could be hot. We want you to hydrate. We want you to stay hydrated. So we've said this 1,000 times at this point, but you're doing 3 laps, 1, 2, 3 on the bike course. Make sure you count them, make sure you do them. Roughly 13.5 miles. You're gonna stay on the right side of the road unless you're passing. So we all know, we all drive places, right? Someone that hangs out in the left lane, they probably really annoy you when you're in your car. It's even worse when you're on a bicycle because there's a lot of bicycles out there. So make sure you hug the right side of the road unless you were trying to pass. Please be courteous when you're out there. Athletes, again, are responsible for counting their laps. 3 laps. 1, 2, 3. It's your job. Failure to count them, failure to make sure that you did 3 laps will result in a disqualification. And it's not just you, it's your entire team. So please make sure that you count those accurately. First run is counterclockwise. Second run is going to be clockwise. So you'll figure it out. There's going to be signs. There'll be arrows on the ground. Please make sure that you follow them. Study the maps. The maps are located on the KC Corporate Challenge website. Please make sure that you look at them before you come out to this race. A few other things really quickly. So safety. Bags are not to be left unattended anywhere outside of the transition area. You guys should know this. If you're athletes, please make sure that you put all of your gear together. Do not throw your backpack anywhere outside the transition area. If we find something like that, park police will investigate it. They'll search it. They'll make sure it's safe. And if it's safe, it will get moved to the information tent, which will be on the northwest corner of the marina parking lot. Or it might be taken by them back to their station. So please don't leave anything unattended out there. Lastly, a few quick notes. So we've said this a couple times already. Athletes must wear a helmet anytime they are on their bike. So if you are riding your bike from the parking lot down to the transition area, helmet on. This is for your safety. It's for other athletes' safety. If you're riding your bike back up from the finish of the race to the Theater in the Park parking lot, helmet on your head. If we catch you not doing this, again, disqualification. It's for your safety. It's for everyone's safety that's out there. Study the maps. It's your responsibility to know the course. We will mark it. You should be pretty easy to follow, but make sure that you study the maps. If you're the first runner, know which direction that you're running. If you're the second runner, know which direction you're running. If you're the cyclist, you're going to bike up the dam. You're not going the other way. You must race with your timing chip to receive a time. So you're going to pick up your timing chip on race morning. You have to exchange it between the teammates. If you don't race with a timing chip, you don't get a time. So this is a hard race. You want to get a time for it. You want to earn your points for it. So please make sure that you race with your timing chip. When the last runner crosses the finish line, please make sure that that timing chip is turned into the volunteer that's at the finish line. And lastly, please thank the volunteers. We talked about this in the beginning of the video. Volunteers are an integral part of this race. We would not be able to do this without them. So from me to volunteers, thank you very much. We love you. We love everything that you do. We could not do this without you. Athletes, please make sure that you thank your volunteers while you're out there on that course. One other quick note for you. So USAT rules, this is obviously not a USAT sanctioned event, but USAT rules do not allow headphones anywhere on the course. I'm fine if you run with them. That's not a huge deal. But if we catch you on the bike course with headphones in, I've said this word a few different times, disqualified. We're not gonna deal with that at all. If we see you, if we catch you, your entire team's gonna be disqualified. So please don't make us do that. We want you to be safe. We want you to have a fun race. So please make sure that absolutely no headphones out there on the bike course. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out. We're here for you. We want to help you. We want to have a wonderful race. And yeah, good luck.